speaking of the ladies, on the latest edition of a Raw Talk, Jerry Lawler expressed how he is not a fan of Bianca Belair and wishes that she would cut her hair off or cut the braid off because it is too long. Now, I wanted to know, considering his past regarding his commentary on women, is this him being a heel, or is this a statement that's fueled with racial undertones?
Definitely racial undertones. And first of all, why we asking a pedophile about questions about another woman? And isn't he racist on top of that? So like,
Believe it.
whatchamacallit, all he ever used to do when it came to commentary on females was it was always something derogatory,
Yeah.
constantly. Like, yeah, it was funny here and there, but like when you watch it back as an adult, it's like, bro, like Jerry, not Jerry Lawler, fucking Jr. was like really carrying the commentary of anything of relevancy. He was
Right.
definitely carrying that because all Jerry Lawler was doing was basically just saying perverted things the entire time. Was I shocked that he doesn't like Bianca Belair? No, I'm not. But the way he came straight out the gates is saying like, "Oh, I'm not a fan of Bianca Belair. She needs to cut off the braid and da 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 da." It just, I don't know, it came out very anti-black to me.
Yeah.
Again, why are we asking the pedophile of opinions about grown ass women? Obviously, he's not interested in them. Obviously, he's not gonna say nothing positive about them. He like
Right.
little girls.
Right.
But
Oh my god.
but it just pisses me off because just I love Bianca Belair. I love her from a personal standpoint and I love her from an athletic standpoint. Like she is such a rare gem. Like it is
Mhm.
amazing that like Mark Henry had discovered like this phenomenal CrossFit track athlete who just she's a natural in terms of just athleticism. She's super creative. She makes her own fucking gear. She caught on to the business and how to cut promos and matches, stuff like that, and she incorporates her athletic abilities and stuff that she learned from CrossFit and track and stuff like that into her matches. I mean, she was very very early on. She didn't stay in the PC for very long. She was thrown
Right.
into NXT matches, put on classic after classic after classic. I still go back and watch the her matches with Shayna Baszler, even though I wasn't happy with the outcome because I was
Yeah.
always Team Bianca.
Right.
Like she's amazing. She's a superstar. She is someone where she makes people like me proud, because she was a face that I wish I had growing up as a kid, like a hero
Mm.
that I always wanted to have on TV. But I'm happy that she could be that hero for other little girls, you
Right.
know. Um, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just love what she's done for the business. She don't bother nobody. She's a good soul. She's a good spirit. She makes your company look damn good because she's
Yeah.
just not with the mess. She's really not. She's very much grown. She's very much focused. She is the epitome of black excellence, if you ask me. So when I heard those comments, I was pissed because it's just like, first of all, why are we asking him to begin with? Like, when has he ever gave a good wrestling take?
Right.
An actual analytical wrestling take. It just came off again very anti-black. Like, do I think that her braids should be cut off eventually in terms of the story mode? Yeah, but not story mode. The fuck? We're playing a video game here.
Right. I was about to say, what
Storyline.
what in the SmackDown versus Raw is you talking about, dog?
I've been gaming too much lately. Let me stop. Let me stop. But in terms of storylines, whatchamacallit, I did want that for her versus Bailey for their I Quit match. It's just the way
Mm.
he just came straight out with his first two comments being that he does not like her and she needs to get rid of the hair. It's just like, what's the hair doing to you?
Right.
What's wrong with the hair? Like, I think that is super innovative and creative as fuck that she literally uses her hair as a weapon, a legal weapon in the match. Like, I think that is so freaking dope. Like, what I love about Bianca in general is that she's just unapologetically black. She's gonna bring that shit
Yes.
to the front face, and she's gonna be bold and loud about it. I love that. So I love the braid. I have an attachment to the braid, and the day she loses that braid, whoever is going to cut that off is going to become the ultimate heel. Let me tell you that right now. Like, we all
Mhm.
have an attachment to that braid. Little girls be buying that little $20-$30 hairpiece that WWE is
Yep.
selling.
Yep.
Bianca even had me making a braid. Bianca had me walking around with a braid before, and I'm grown.
Right. A fully
You know
grown
what I
woman.
mean? Yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? So it's just like I'm pissed because it's just like she's just a good woman. It just reminds me of a type of like backlash and heat that Naomi gets. you know? But am I
Mm,
shocked? No. It's just that why did they think that was okay to ask him? You could have asked anybody else. You really could have asked anybody else that question. Why did you think that he was a credible enough source to ask? Like, do you think that was on purpose?
right. I I
I'm
I
asking.
I
What do you think that was on purpose?
I think so. For starters, the way that it was positioned, like I don't think that the producers at Raw Talk just thought this one through. I like for just from a face value, why are we asking Jerry Lawler about women? End of question. Why? Any woman, black, white, butter pecan, Puerto Rican, when has Jerry Lawler's take about women's wrestling uh put women's wrestling in a positive light that wasn't perverse or sexually related? I can't recall. Anytime I've heard about Jerry Lawler and his commentary on women, all I can think about is his reaction to the 1998 bikini contest between Sable and Jacqueline. So it's just like I don't, from that perspective, why I don't understand why Jerry is being asked about any woman. Um, I I so I don't think that it was done on purpose. I do think that they just didn't think it through. Um, but at the same in that same breath, I feel like this statement that he made, it was him trying to be a heel, but he also had racial undertones tied to it because you could just tell that he didn't understand. He didn't grow an attachment to the Bianca Belair character or the Bianca Belair gimmick or the Bianca Belair braid. And because of that, that resentment kind of popped out when he made that statement, right? It was giving old white man that didn't understand rap music. That was the energy that I was getting
Yeah.
from him when he made the statement. It's just like, why do people think this is cool? I don't get it. And then he tried to, but Bailey, but Bailey's gonna cut that braid off, and it's just like, all right, we get it. You don't like Bianca, um,
Yeah.
but it was giving a little bit of racial. It was giving racial undertones, and but I feel like the problem here isn't necessarily Jerry. It's the culture in pro wrestling that has allowed Jerry Lawler to make him feel comfortable with making these statements about black women or just any woman in general. Like we've seen Dark Side of the Ring and we've seen how there have been literally cases of sexual assault, harassment, abuse, and wrestlers will literally tell the women don't sell it. I think that the same culture that emboldens that is the same culture that emboldens Jerry Lawler to kind of move the way that he moves. Um, so I think that uh this was a statement that definitely had some racial undertones attached to it and him also trying to be a heel. But I think that WWE in 2022 should know better than to ask Jerry Lawler about any woman, specifically about a black woman. Like that's just, and specifically Bianca Belair, especially if they want, you know, her to have this mainstream appeal. You know, we talked about her being signed to an agency, and you know, if the whole idea is for WWE to collect checks based off of Bianca's IP, based off of her name, her image, her likeness, that's technically owned by WWE, is like, why am I putting in a why
Mhm.
am I going to put my investment in a position like where the perception of her value can be lessened, not her
Yeah.
actual value, because we know how valuable Bianca is, but I like that's my investment. I'm going to do what I need to do to protect that investment. But you know, if y'all have any opposing comments, y'all let us know. Y'all sound off in the comments. Now